Have you ever wondered why salt, such a simple and ordinary element of daily life, is mentioned so often in the Bible? From ancient covenants to the teachings of Jesus, salt is not just a seasoning, it holds profound spiritual lessons that can deeply impact our lives. Imagine this. One day, you're facing a significant challenge, your work feels stuck, a relationship seems to be falling apart, or you're overwhelmed by a sense of confusion and uncertainty. Then you come across a story in the Bible about salt being used to heal a barren land, restoring it to life and abundance. It makes you pause and think, could there be more to salt than meets the eye? Could it teach us something about purity, faithfulness, and the power of God? In today's video, we're going to uncover 5 hidden truths about salt in the Bible that you may have never noticed before. These are not just ancient stories, they are powerful lessons that can help you strengthen your faith, overcome life's challenges, and find peace and clarity. Stay with us until the end, where we'll explore how you can bring the symbolic power of salt into your daily life, turning it into a tool for personal growth and a source of inspiration for others. Are you ready? Open your heart and let the Bible guide you to an extraordinary discovery that may transform the way you see this simple, everyday substance. A call to faith and purpose. Salt is one of the most familiar and essential elements in our daily lives. We use it to season our food, enhance flavors, and even preserve things from spoiling. It's simple, commonplace, and often overlooked. Yet, in the Bible, salt carries profound and symbolic spiritual meanings that extend far beyond its physical uses. For God and His people, salt is not just a seasoning. It is deeply significant, a symbol of an everlasting covenant, purity, and spiritual strength that ties humanity to the divine. In Numbers 18:19, salt is specifically described as part of a perpetual covenant between God and the Israelites. The passage states that the offerings presented by the Israelites to God were to be set aside as an everlasting covenant of salt for Aaron and his descendants. This covenant of salt is more than a ceremonial act. It represents faithfulness, constancy, and the enduring relationship between God and His people. Salt, with its natural ability to preserve and prevent decay, is used as a powerful metaphor. It reflects the unchanging and incorruptible nature of God's promise, a promise that remains steadfast and unbroken through time. This concept is as relevant in our lives today as it was thousands of years ago. In our daily interactions and relationships, we can draw a meaningful lesson from the covenant of salt. Just as God's relationship with His people is marked by faithfulness and commitment, our relationships with family and friends require the same kind of dedication. They thrive not on fleeting emotions or temporary gestures, but on the foundation of trust, loyalty, and enduring commitment. Consider the challenges we often face in maintaining meaningful connections. In moments of conflict, misunderstanding, or distance, it is easy to let emotions take over and allow bonds to weaken. But the covenant of salt reminds us that true relationships are built on something deeper. They require perseverance and intentionality, qualities that preserve the integrity of our connections, much like salt preserves the freshness of food. Salt's role as a preservative also serves as a reminder that we must actively guard the values and principles that underpin our relationships. It's not enough to rely on the passage of time or the occasional kind gesture. Like the Israelites, who were called to offer salt in their sacrifices as a sign of their covenant with God, we too must continuously invest in our relationships, showing through our actions that we value and honor those bonds. The unchanging nature of salt as a symbol of endurance also reflects the eternal faithfulness of God. In the same way that salt doesn't lose its ability to preserve or flavor, God's promises to us remain consistent and true. This can be a source of immense comfort, especially in times when we feel uncertain or unworthy. Knowing that God's covenant is not based on our perfection, but on His steadfast love, gives us the strength to keep going, even in the face of life's challenges. In the New Testament, Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." This statement carries a powerful meaning. It reminds us that we are called to maintain spiritual and moral integrity and to bring hope and goodness to the world around us. Just as salt enhances the flavor of food, our presence should inspire and uplift others. But Jesus also warns us about losing our saltiness. If we let go of our values or grow distant from our faith, we risk becoming ineffective in our purpose. The story of Elisha and the water in Jericho is a remarkable example of how salt symbolizes God's power. The water in Jericho was polluted and the land could not produce life. When the people sought Elisha's help, he prayed and used salt to heal the water, restoring life to the city. This was not just an act of physical healing, but also a reminder of God's ability to bring restoration to what seems beyond repair. In the same way, when we face struggles or brokenness in our lives, faith and prayer can bring healing and renewal. In the Old Testament, salt was also a required element in offerings to God. In Leviticus 2:13, God commands that every offering should include salt, representing purity and completeness. This detail emphasizes the importance of sincerity in our relationship with God. Today, some believers still use salt as a reminder of God's covenant. While it has no inherent power, it can symbolize trust in His promises and inspire deeper faith during prayer. Salt also represents spiritual strength in the battles we face. Life can be overwhelming, with moments that feel like endless darkness. Salt's symbolic power reminds us of the resilience we need to endure those times. The story of Elisha healing the water teaches us that even when problems feel insurmountable, God's power can bring resolution and new life. The lessons of salt are as meaningful now as they were in biblical times. Salt teaches us about perseverance, loyalty, and the quiet power of positivity. It dissolves into food without drawing attention to itself, but transforms the entire meal. Similarly, small acts of kindness, honesty, and encouragement can change the atmosphere around us. Even in difficult moments, remember that salt never loses its value, and neither do you. Living as the salt of the earth means holding on to the purity of your heart, spreading goodness, and standing firm in your faith. It is a call to live with intention and hope, knowing that your actions can bring healing and light to the lives of others. Salt may be simple, but its message is profound, reminding us of our role to be a source of strength, encouragement, and faith in the world. A deeper reflection on the power of salt in the Bible. Salt in the Bible, though seemingly small and unassuming, carries a profound message about faith, perseverance, and our purpose in life. It serves as a powerful reminder that God calls each of us to be steadfast, pure, and impactful in the world around us. As we've explored, salt is not just a symbol, it is a call to action, urging us to live a life of significance, no matter how ordinary we may feel. Life is filled with moments of doubt and weariness. We all encounter times when we feel lost, overwhelmed, or unsure of our path. But just like salt, which retains its value and purpose no matter its environment, we too carry an inner strength that God has placed within us. This strength enables us to rise above challenges, bring light to dark places, and inspire those around us. Even the smallest actions can create profound change. A kind word, a simple gesture of support, or a quiet presence in someone's time of need can transform lives. These small, selfless acts are like grains of salt. They may seem insignificant on their own, but they add meaning and richness to the lives they touch. You don't have to be perfect to fulfill God's call to be the salt of the earth. What matters most is your willingness to remain faithful, true to your values, and committed to spreading positivity. Staying honest in your relationships, striving to bring light into the world, and holding on to your faith will allow you to fulfill the purpose God has for you. The true power of salt lies not in its physical form, but in what it represents: our faith, our resilience, and our connection with God. When we live as the salt of the earth, we embody these qualities, serving as instruments of healing, hope, and transformation for those around us. Each step you take in faith, no matter how small, contributes to a larger story of restoration and purpose. Think about the story of Elisha healing the waters of Jericho. It wasn't the salt alone that restored life to the barren land. It was the power of God working through it. In the same way, your faith and relationship with God are the driving forces that allow you to overcome obstacles, mend brokenness, and bring new life to situations that seem beyond repair. As you move forward in your journey, let this message remind you of your significance. You are not just here to exist, but to make a difference, to add flavor to the world, and to reflect God's love and light. Embrace your role as the salt of the earth, living with purpose and intention every day. And never forget, you are never alone. God is always with you, guiding your steps, strengthening your spirit, and reminding you of your worth. No matter what challenges lie ahead, His covenant with you is eternal, unbreakable, and filled with promises of hope and restoration. If this message has inspired you, I encourage you to share it with others. Let's work together to spread this message of faith, hope, and purpose to as many people as we can. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about how you plan to live as the salt of the earth. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you abundantly on your journey.